If you are a woman coach or consultant who is posting consistently on LinkedIn, but your calendar is not filling up, I'd like to offer you a reframe. Your problem isn't visibility. It's that what you're playing right now is a long game when what your business really needs is a short game. Content builds trust, but conversations create clients. And most of the coaches and consultants that I talk to these days are doing more of the first and very little of the second. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I use what I call a coffee chat to build a relationship-based lead gen strategy that doesn't make you feel awkward or salesy or feel like a bait and switch for the person on the other end. You may know them as networking meetings. I call them coffee chats, and I'll tell you why that word choice is important in a minute. This is not about going viral or posting more. It's simply about having the right conversations with the right people and knowing exactly what to say when you get there. Before getting into the framework, let me ask you a question. How many real conversations did you have last week with people who could realistically become your clients? Not comments, not likes, but real conversations. For most coaches, that number is 0 or maybe 1, and there lies the problem. Because here's the thing, visibility without conversation is just performance. You can be the most active poster on LinkedIn and still have an empty calendar because content gets you seen where conversation gets you chosen. By the way, if you're sitting there thinking, my lead gen strategy could use some work and I'm not even sure where the coffee chat fits in, book a call with me and we'll take a look together and see if we can come up with a strategy that will get you more leads. So why aren't more coaches and consultants doing this? I think it's because we've been advised to focus on content. Post more, be more consistent, do a podcast, do more reels, that kind of thing. And it's not that I don't believe in content. I do. I have a YouTube channel. I post on LinkedIn all the time, and it's very important to me to build an audience. But here's what nobody tells you. Content is a trust builder, but it's rarely a conversation engine on its own. And this is especially important when you are selling high-ticket relationship-based offers. So think about it from your own perspective. When was the last time you bought a $10,000 offer without having a conversation? Probably never. And that's because people don't buy high ticket offers from brands. They buy from people who they know and trust. And this is getting more and more important in this time when we are operating in a real trust deficit. So if you need clients this month, not 6 months from now when your content compounds, you need a short game strategy that works alongside your content that creates momentum now. That's what coffee chats are, not instead of content, but alongside content. Let's talk for a minute about why traditional networking meetings have a bad reputation. And maybe you've cringed a little bit there because we've all been on the bad side of a networking meeting. And here's why I use the term coffee chat instead of networking meeting. Coffee chat comes with almost no expectations. It doesn't sound like an agenda-driven meeting or a sales call. It sounds more like two people getting together, having a conversation, which is exactly what it is. That word choice, it's intentional because how we frame the meeting sets the tone for the entire relationship. Yet even with the right framing, most people mess these up. Here's why. Trap number 1, it's a disguised pitch. You get on the phone, you're on for 6 minutes, and then it turns into a sales call. You feel tricked, the other person feels awkward, and nobody wins here. This is the number 1 reason people guard their calendars. They've been burned before. On the other hand, some coaches and consultants treat these meetings like social events. No direction, no notes, no next steps. And they wonder why it didn't create anything. Well, a conversation without intention is really just a chit chat, which is fine, but it's not going to help you grow your business. Trap number 3, talking to the wrong people. And this one's a little tricky because you've got plenty of conversations going on, but not with anyone who would ever be your client. It might be peers or other coaches looking for free advice. And you feel like you're being productive, but in fact, you're just really being busy. And busy is not strategic.
The fix for all of these are the same, and that is intention. Because when you know who you are talking to, why you are talking to them, and you listen with a true intent to learn to see how you can add value, these conversations stop feeling awkward and they start feeling generous because you are in a position to add value. And that's where we're going next. But before going there, if you're thinking, I could use some help on identifying the short game lead generation activities that will bring clients in the door, not in several months, but short term, schedule a call with me and we can take a look at your lead gen strategy and see if we can come up with some short game activities that will get the clients in the door soon. The ethical coffee chat framework. Now, this works best if you are a coach or consultant with a high ticket offer who is looking for a short game lead gen strategy without having to be online 24/7. What a coffee chat is. It is a simple 30-minute networking meeting. That's it. It's not a sales call, and that's why it works. You're building trust because you're doing exactly what you said you'd do. Step number 1, the LinkedIn connection request, and try not to be boring about that. We've all been on the receiving end of boring. Try and stand out by being light or personal or making them smile because that's when they hit accept. Let me give you some examples here. Hi, Janet. LinkedIn keeps putting you in front of me, so I figured I should take the hint. Looks like we run in similar circles. I'd love to hear about your business sometime. Or, hi, John, saw we both support entrepreneurs and thought I would actually say hello instead of just lurking. Always enjoy connecting with people who get what entrepreneurship is really all about. Hi, Phyllis, fair warning, I'm the kind of connection who actually says hello. Loved what I saw in your profile and would genuinely love to connect and learn about your work.
Step 2, the follow-up message after they connect. If they accept and they look like an ideal client, send them a note that says something like, thanks for connecting, Janet. If you're open to it, I'd love to do a quick coffee chat. Pure networking. I'm having a few conversations with women coaches about what's working right now and what isn't. No prep needed. If you're up for it, here's a scheduling link to make it easy. And then, of course, I include my calendar link in there so they can choose a time that works best for them. Step 3, set your intention before the call. And what I mean by this is purely a networking call, whether they turn out to be an ideal client or not. Your intention and your goal in this call is really to listen, learn, and see if you can serve or help them in some way.
Step 4, the call opener. And it sounds as simple as this. Thanks so much, Janice, for taking the time today to meet. I actually try and have a couple of these conversations a week just to keep my pulse on the challenges that coaches and consultants are facing to see if I can help in any way. And I'd love to hear about your business, and I can tell you a little bit about mine. And if we can support each other in some way, that's fantastic. But if not, I'm sure we're both going to enjoy the conversation. From there, just lead with curiosity. So just a conversation. And I find after about 10 minutes, she'll ask me about my business.
Step 5, it's your turn to share. And I do that by sharing a transformation statement as well as my origin story. And if you're not familiar with a transformation statement, very simply, it is specifically who it is that you serve. It is when they come to you, what is their current state? And then after they've worked with you, what is that transformative state? For example, mine is I help accomplished women coaches and consultants go from feeling frustrated and challenged, trying to grow their business, to having a steady flow of income so they can experience financial freedom.
And if you want more on how to build an effective transformation statement, I have a video on that, and the link is below.
Then I share my origin story, which is something like, years ago, ago, I started out in corporate America working for Chase Manhattan Bank, worked my way up to be director of marketing for the global bank, and found myself sleeping at the office with two little boys at home. And I thought there had to be a better way. So I started consulting, and I was an independent consultant for about 10 years. And then I decided that I wanted to scale a business, and I started precision sales coaching and training. And that was about 20 years ago. And I had ups and downs and all arounds, and I actually almost went out of business in 2008. I finally figured it out, and I was able to scale my business to over 7 figures. And when the pandemic hit, I had a moment to reflect like so many others. And when I really boiled down what it was that I was doing, is I was making very wealthy men and wealthy institutions wealthier. And I thought, you know what? I want to support women like me 20 years ago. And in those days, there weren't a whole lot of women like me helping women like me. Step 6, reading the room. And there are really only 3 potential endings here. Ending 1 is she's just not a fit, which happens, and that's fine. In which case, I might say something like, this has been so enjoyable having this conversation, and let's definitely stay connected. But before you go, is there anything I can do to support you? And then on the other side, I might ask her, do you know anyone who might benefit from my work? Again, I work with accomplished women, coaches and consultants who have hit a revenue plateau and are looking to grow their business. So it's important to be specific with who your ideal client is. Ending 2, she is a fit. And I might say something like, based on what you shared, I do think I can help you. And I absolutely want to keep today's call what we said it would be, a coffee chat. But if you'd like, we can book a separate call where I can ask some deeper questions about your business, where you are now, what your aspirations are, to see if in fact I can help. And if so, I'd be happy to tell you specifically how I support women like you. Would that be of interest to you? And if she says yes, I want to book the call right away. How does Monday look? Ending 3, she asks about your offer and seems to want to talk about it right now. In which case I would say something like, I'm happy to talk about it. Do you want to schedule a separate call for that, or use the remaining time today to switch gears? If she says that she wants to switch gears, I want to be very conscious of that. And so I might say, terrific. So what I'd like to do is back up a little bit and do a deeper dive so I can understand your business better, where you currently are, where you want to go, and what those challenges are in between. And if it's something I can help you with, I'd be happy to talk about how we support women like you in growing their business. What's important here is the switching of the gears. What I'm doing is I'm saying, this was a coffee chat. It was billed as a coffee chat. There is now a request to have a fit conversation. And that's what really keeps trust intact.
If you're watching this thinking, this makes sense, and I would like to use this as a part of my lead gen strategy, or maybe you don't even have a lead gen strategy, schedule a call and we'll take a look, we'll talk about it, and make sure that you have some short game activities that will help you to bring in clients right away. So just to recap, number 1, content builds trust, but conversations create client. Number 2, coffee chats are networking meetings. The frame, the name, and the intention all matter. Number 3, if someone is an ideal fit, invite them to a follow-up conversation immediately. That's how you keep trust intact and move the relationship forward without feeling pushy or salesy. And number 4, this is actually how I run my sales conversations. And it's also what I teach inside the Precision Sales Accelerator. So if you want help building a lead generation strategy, figuring out how to make the most of these conversations and how to convert them, book a call on the link below. And I'll see you on the next one.